Hey, what's going on, guys? I've got the Hinderer XM-18 here. The slicer grind, it's got the factory edge on it still. I want to show you the before and after of sharpening it on the wicked edge. I'm not going to take you along the sharpening process. There's already a couple of videos regarding that. I'm still waiting on the new arms to come in for my wicked edge, and I'll start making new videos after those come in. But this is the before, this is the factory edge. Been using it all week. It's starting to get dull. This is the Duratech 20CV, which is the chemical equivalent of M390. So since I don't have M390 steel yet, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, I'm looking forward to seeing how well it holds up. See if it'll change my mind to thinking 20CV is better than CPM M4, which is my current favorite edge retaining steel. Alright, I will be back with the after sharpening video to show you the initial sharpness. It's not very sharp. It will not push cut at all, but it will sort of slice regular paper. And I don't think it will cut phone book paper at all. There's some slight rolling on the belly area of the knife. So, yeah. And the knife also came with a sort of a chip. There's actually two chips in the edge, and they are from the pillars in between the handles. See, there's a chip there and another one right there. It's not that bad. You can also see the roll right there on the belly. It's a pretty bad roll, and it is from the pillars. Somehow the blade came in contact with the pillars when closed, and it created those chips. So I'll take those out also, while still trying to preserve as much steel as possible. Here's a better view of the chip. See on the belly there, there's that shiny spot right there on the edge is a roll, and I have not cut anything hard with this knife yet. That's just from cutting some foam on top of cardboard. I did not cut through any cardboard. That's just cutting through something that was on top of cardboard, and I guess that was enough to push the edge over. I'm not sure why. Alright, just finished sharpening the XM-18. You can see the reflection in the edge there. I'm holding a book about 6 inches away from the edge, and the letters are perfectly legible with no deformation. So it made a perfect flat bevel. And I sharpened it at 20 degrees. Now, since the blade is very thick on the Hinderer, you need to offset your angle by 2 degrees. So the left side is set to 20 degrees and the right side is set to 22 degrees. Now you have to do that if you want to get an even angle on both sides. Alright, to show you that it is hair whittling sharp, as always. So I set the knife in the bottom holes, and on the alignment tool I set it to the letter B, and it has given me an even angle on the entire length of the blade. And I stopped at 3.5 micron. I did not go down to 0.25 micron like I usually do. See the other side. Now what I did was went to the 1000 grit diamond stones, and then after that the 1200 and 1600 grit ceramic stones, and then I taped on the 1000, 1500, 2000 and 2500 grit sandpaper to the ceramic stones, and then the 5 and 3.5 micron diamond strops, and that's the finished product. You can still see some scratches in the light at certain angles. To get rid of every single scratch, you need to spend a lot of time on the 1500, 2000, and 2500 grit sandpaper. But this took me about an hour to complete this, and I am satisfied with the results for what it's going to be used for. This is the Duratech 20CV. It sharpened up very easily to my surprise. It's definitely not as hard as M4 to sharpen. It seemed to take away steel very easily on the higher grits, like the 600 and 800. I did not need to spend a lot of time on the 100 and 200. So this is considered a super steel, but it's not as hard. The Rockwell hardness is 59 to 60. It wasn't that hard to sharpen compared to a 61 to 62 Rockwell hardness M4 steel. So with testing in the next week, we'll see how well it holds up, see how often it needs to be touched up. This is supposedly supposed to be the best steel there is as far as edge retention goes. This has done very well in Catra cutting tests, and let's see how it does at my job, if it holds up. I started out at 20 degrees to see if it will hold up well, and if it does, we can lower the angle as we go, maybe get down to 15 degrees. But there was a pretty large roll after a week of use, and I'm kind of hesitant to go to a lower angle, so 20 degrees is a good starting point for me. Although I would like to maybe put a 15 degree on it with a 25 degree micro bevel later. Came out very nice. Yeah, I chose not to go super mirror polished because this is my hard use knife. It's gonna see a lot of hard use. I'm not trying to make it look like perfection. If I were to ever get a custom Hinderer, I definitely would do the best mirror polish job I could. So if you look real hard, you can see the remnants of the chip that was there. Next to the letter D and the word owned, there was a slight dent or chip from the standoffs in between the handles. Somehow the knife closed far enough to hit the standoffs and it made a little dent. So I got most of it out. There's still just a light dent there because I try to preserve as much steel as possible, and I'll let it be taken out as I use it and need to sharpen it as necessary. I'm not gonna remove all that steel just to fix that slight. Alright guys, thanks for watching. After I get the new arms in, I'll make some new sharpening videos explaining some new tips and techniques I've learned over the time. And it should be maybe a couple more weeks before Clay gets the new arms in and he ships me a set out for testing. I'll keep you guys updated, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.